KILR KILR Games.
Hello gamers, simmers, and pilots. I am the KILR Gamer. Welcome to a flight that we're going to be doing. It was a KILR Points request from one of our viewers, JMike70. We are doing this flight for him. He redeemed points on Twitch. Which you can also. The more that you watch on the KILR Gamer Twitch channel, the more points that you earn, and you can take those points and you can redeem them for cool things, cool activities. Be able to pick the next simulator that a flight is done, or you can actually pick the flight and the simulator and the type of aircraft that is flown. And then there's other things beside that. There's one where you can redeem points for me to participate in any VATSIM event. All kinds of stuff. So, gotta follow me over on Twitch and gotta watch. Follow me first so that you know when I come on. And then watch, have fun, earn those points, redeem them. There's so many things in there, and I'm sure I'll be adding more stuff. It's my way to get you guys more involved with the channel and the types of content that you see. So it's all about interaction. So we are doing a Caribbean flight as was requested by JMike70. It's in Grenada. It's the TGPY Airport, and we're going to be going to St. Thomas. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up the flight information so that way you can all see this. This is the flight plan right here. And he was pretty he was pretty specific. Now, he didn't say like this exact route, but he did say, hey, I'd like to see you do a vor-to-vor flight between the two airports. And well, here it is. So I came up here and I added in all the waypoints for all the VORs. This one here I kind of hopped over to this island, then back over here. So I put together this flight plan just like I would do it in like an old flight simulator, you know, where it was just VORs and nothing else. So that's what we got here. That is what we're going to be flying. Now we're not doing any online stuff on this one, but I do have ATC with my VOXATC, so it won't be a completely quiet flight, but it'll be good. And speaking of JMike70, here he is. And do I have my Discord up? Yes, I do. Although I am on Windows 10, and I haven't tested it on Windows 10, but it's up. So hopefully, it will come on. Yeah, for those who haven't watched me often, I have a dual boot system of Windows 7 and Windows 10. A lot of stuff I do on Windows 7. P3D happens to be on Windows 10. I heard that. Martez XD, welcome. Alrighty, so for everybody listening, I do have a Discord server But to be a part of that, you're going to want to be either a Tier 1 subscriber here on Twitch or a Tier 2 subscriber over on Patreon, that thing. Either way, it's the same cost, so don't have to worry. One doesn't cost more than the other. Yeah, you should be able to find it.
Well, thank you for doing this. I hope it's scenic.
The airport that I've got here, this one I was able to download. The destination airport, on the other hand, all I could find was an FSX one, and it did not look good. It did not play nice with P3D at all. So I made sure that the scenery wasn't going to look bad before flying it. So it'll just be default scenery at the destination airport.
So that's perfectly fine. I was impressed you were able to find this one. It's not a very busy airport as things go.
I think I got this one from AvSim, actually. This one here I think I found from AvSim. Nothing from Flight Sim other than FSX stuff. I did find a Flight Simulator 98 one though. Which I forget which one did I find for Flight Simulator 98. Had me like, maybe I should try that. Yeah, the Maurice Bishop International Airport. So I found a Flight Simulator 98 scenery airport for that one. Hey, you never know. We could go back in time. You know, we could start off with P3D and just kind of like slowly work our way back to Flight Simulator 98. I don't even know if there's got to be a Dash-8 for Flight Simulator 98.
Oh, probably somewhere, and who knows what kind of scenery they had down here. You know, I'm sure you've got some green polygons out in the ocean somewhere.
Oh, now Flight Simulator 98 looks better than that. Now, Flight Simulator 4 or 5, probably some green polygons. All right. It's been a while since I loaded up this Dash-8 here. But I do have my ground crew thing here, so let's get him going. 24-hour system checks checklist, please.
Engine fire detection.
Test.
APU fire detection.
Test.
Baggage smoke warning aft and forward.
Test.
Stall warning test 1 and 2.
Test.
ADC 1 and 2.
Test.
Auto feather.
Test.
GPWS TCAS. Test. PA system.
Test.
Trims.
Test.
24-hour system checks. Checklist complete.
Okay, that came out of nowhere. But not unexpected. Oh man. I was putting together that video earlier today, and that came when I got to the end of that. I'm like, okay, I got to take that snippet and put it up on the channel so that way people can see it. All right, radios. Where are my radios at? Somewhere around here. Okay, that's right. Have to get readjusted here. With all the different flight simulators that I play, I have to like readjust my way of thinking because they all seem to be a little bit different as far as where the controls are and which key does what and all that.
Oh, I can't imagine how you keep all those key bindings straight.
Let's see, we want 1, 2, 1. And I do have real weather going. I've got ActiveSky going, and I've got the Rec Sky Environment Force going, so we should be seeing some real weather out there. Point Celine's ground, Skyfox 1971, radio check 121.9er.
Skyfox 1971, readability 5.
Readability 5, also Skyfox 1971. I thought the call sign for this livery was cool. Although apparently this livery doesn't exist anymore. It's funny. It's like some of these planes that I get, and it's like, oh, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool, and it's like the planes are no longer in service anymore. This is supposed to be like a Swiss airline, but I guess since it's not in service anymore, we can use it wherever we want. At least that's my reasoning. Point Celine's ground, Skyfox 1971, ready for clearance. King.
Skyfox 1971, standby. Skyfox 1971, cleared to King Airport, cleared as filed, maintain 6000, expect flight level 22010 minutes after departure, departure frequency 119.4, squawk 3013.
This is the Majestic Dash-8?
Mm-hmm. This is the Majestic one. Skyfox 1971 is cleared to King Airport, cleared as filed, maintain 6000, departure frequency 119.4, squawk 3013.
Skyfox 1971, read back correct.
Okay. Why you show me all this here? All right, this is what I want. My transponder. Of course, I could have the co-pilot do all this. Okay, so that is set. Let's take this a step further here. Let's get some people loaded up here. We're going to take it just that little extra step.
Nice Caribbean looking paint scheme too.
Yeah, actually I thought it, you know, even though it doesn't really fly in this area, I thought it was just kind of a neat aircraft to, you know, fly in here.
Well, they flew it there, ran out of money, and couldn't get it home.
That could be why they're no longer in business. Or maybe we're looking at a flashback, and it was me that caused the whole company to go down to start with. The question is, how does it end? Do we land at the airport? Dash-8 is tricky to land. I love the plane, but it is tricky to try to land.
Because it seems like you have to basically point the nose down to land.
Almost, yeah. Almost. And it really wants to float in the air. So I literally, the way that, trying to get this thing to land like automatically on ILS is, it like locked into the localizer is, and the glide slope is really hard because it just wants to speed up, and then when you're trying to land, it'll touch down and bounce up and go right back up into the air. I mean, I have to get this thing close to like almost stall speed as I'm approaching the airport, so that way when I touch down, I actually stay down and that just bounce up. It's tricky.
Oh, that A2A plane, that Stratocruiser they had years ago, was like that. Probably not to this extent, but man, you had to do a glide slope really shallow and from a long way out because it did not slow down.
I don't think this one has speed brakes, and I think that's another reason why it's so hard to get it to slow down, because it doesn't have any, you know, spoilers or anything to help slow it down. It's got reverse. It's got, you know, the reverse thrust or propellers or whatever, but that doesn't do anything until you actually get on the ground.
So this thing cruises along at what, around 280, 300 knots?
Yeah. It's actually speed-wise, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I think I flew this once on the Vatras tour, but then I started falling behind, so I had switched over to one of the jetliners. But speed-wise, it's not that bad at all. It's a very enjoyable aircraft.
Yeah, I didn't want to make you have to do it in a Cessna. That would have been interesting.
That's okay. I've done long flights in Cessnas before. As long as it's a Cessna with a yeah, as long as it's one with an autopilot. But this is good too, because I want to get more practice in with this Dash-8.
I really do like these turboprops. I think they're my favorite aircraft style. You know, you can get them in almost anywhere, and they're fun to fly. A lot of what could I call it? A lot of manual things you can do with them as far as engines and whatnot.
I don't think I want to be that close. There we go.
I think your Sims are getting on board.
Just a little bit.
Just don't let that one anywhere near the galley.
I get a kick out of this little add-on here. I don't know if they've made this compatible yet with P3D 5.
Does this come with the plane, or is this a third party?
This is third party. This is GSX. From Dream Team, I think. I think it's from the Dream Team. So this is GSX level 1 and level 2. Level 2 has got the one where the bus comes up and the passengers load up and the pilot and the baggage. GSX level 1 puts in like jetways. I think that one does jetways. It has the pushback though. The aircraft has its own pushback as well. And it adds sound effects and stuff. else do we need here? This needs to go here. Before start checklist, please.
Stand by.
Last aircraft say again.
Originating checks flow.
Complete.
Complete. Gear pins. Stowed. Pre-flight checks.
Complete.
Complete. External power. APU voltage.
On. Check 24 volts.
Circuit breakers.
Checked.
Checked. Escape hatch.
Closed.
Nose steering.
Off.
Flight guidance control panel. Set. Fuel quantity 11720 pounds on board.
£2,000 required.
Hydraulic number 3 pressure.
Park checked. Park checked. Set and checked. It's not accepting my command. Park. Checked. Set and checked. Disk. Hello. Bye-bye. Exactly. Maybe he said, oh, I think he said hydraulic pressure. That might be why. Check 3,000 PSI.
Emergency brake. Pressure.
Park. Checked.
Power levers.
Disk.
Condition levers.
Fuel off.
Captain, are you sure about that? Emergency light switch.
Arm.
Fasten seatbelt switch.
On.
On. Departure briefing.
Complete.
Are you sure? Before start checklist complete.
It is off. It's right. Oh, no, it's not. Okay, well, now it is. He moved it. That's what he did. Alright, so we're still waiting for them to get the... Oh, they shut the door back over here. Whoops. I have to open the...
Check.
No, don't check. I have to remember to mute the mic, otherwise... It's like he listens to everything that I say. I'm not even sure how much fuel that we have. Just look up in the air there. Fuel. That'll probably be enough.
D8, 60 pounds. I don't know if that's a lot or little.
I don't either. Let's just request refueling. Heck, if you know, normally you want to land an aircraft with close to low, but maybe in this case I don't want to do that, because the lighter this aircraft is, the more chances it will just bounce right off the runway. So I'm going to go against the grain, and I'm going to fill it all the way up, even though that we probably don't need that. Besides, I come from the old school of flying where when you went to an airport to fill up your aircraft, it filled it up. Drive onto the fuel box, it filled it all the way up.
Yeah, just park on the F.
There it is. Baggage is taking its time, but hopefully there won't be too much for it to load up.
Well, this is island time. It runs slow.
I love it though. This thing works with like almost all of my aircrafts. You know, like big ones like this. And this works over on FSX as well.
Does it have a set of third-party planes it works with? Or does it work with anything?
It's supposed to work with anything. On some of the planes, though, like some of the older ones, let's say if we do it with like FSX, some of the doors may not open up, but things will line up.
So it's probably just able to read from the model or something.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's looking at the specs of the model itself. Especially when using a jetway, where you can connect a jetway. If I use like the 737 or the 747, where it's got two of the entryways up here in the front, it defaults to the second one over here, but you can change it to go to the very first one. And then there are some that don't have those. So it's just, I just find it fascinating that they were able to get it to where it lines up pretty decently. Sometimes exact, sometimes just a little off. Go ahead and close that. How's that fuel coming? Fuel tank is on its way. All right. There he is. And these are neat too, depending upon like which aircraft you have. Sometimes they'll hook up a hose to the ground where the fuel is at, and they'll start pumping up into the wing where the where it holds the fuel. So it's pretty neat. All right, yeah, let's give it 100% fuel there. Oh, there's a service where you can have them come and de-ice your wings. I guess I have 100% fuel. Yeah, fill her up. Okay, bye-bye. The de-icing service is actually kind of neat. These two cranes come up and they start spraying the wings. It's really neat. Okay, well, I'll assume that the plane is already filled up then, since it just decided to go away.
Well, if not, you've got at least a dozen airports en route that you could stop at.
That is true. Oh, it'll make the tour a little interesting. Point Celine's ground, Skyfox 1971, request startup.
Skyfox 1971, startup approved. Roger,
Skyfox 1971. I like that name so much, I think I might use that on VATSIM. I'll fly this liver more often. Although sometimes they're like, what's your call sign again? What's your handle sign? Even though I used the correct code.
Oh yeah, you had those Russians that didn't know their own airline.
I think the thing is, as I fly something that is not very common, I tend to do that. You know, I tend to do the little different things than what most people do. I like going for the underdog. Engine start checklist to the line.
Battery master main auxiliary standby.
On.
Doors fueling lights.
Closed and out.
Anti-collision light.
Red.
Engine start checklist completed to the line.
Below the line.
APU bleed.
Off.
Engine clear on 2.
Clear on 2.
Engine start checklist complete.
Okay. Let's get the APU going here. That should be good. Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
Please disconnect external power.
Roger, disconnecting GPU.
Okay, there goes that.
Captain, the GPU is now disconnected.
This was the first FS2 crew add-on that I got for any type of plane. I fell in love with it. I really like this. I think I've maybe scratched the surface of what it can do. Point Celine's ground, Skyfox 1971 at Gate Papa 1, ready taxi with clearance.
Skyfox 1971, taxi to runway 10, altimeter 299er5.
Taxi to runway 10, Skyfox 1971. Alright, let's take a look at our airport here. I just like to get a visual on things. That's not what I wanted to do. But I can click on this. Okay, there we are. So runway 10 over here. Don't really have any specific taxiway instructions. I guess this would explain why. And I'm not, even though I have air traffic installed, it doesn't sound like there's a whole lot of activity over here.
Right. Moving.
Hello, Captain. We're ready for pushback.
Yeah, Caribbean Airlines and everything.
Skywork, your personal way to fly.
Locking gear.
His outfit matches our livery. Blue and yellow.
Yes, it does. Did you pick anything for the ground cruise outfits and stuff? Because the back of his truck says Caribbean Airlines, and I was wondering how it.
Oh, that's GSX. GSX does a really good job of picking out voices that are kind of close to where they should be. Like I've used this in Russia, and I actually hear Russian voices, and I've been quite impressed with this little package. Just by hearing different voices or seeing like different little labels or something like that. Let's see, we want to go nose right. I don't want to go that way. Alright, well we're going to do straight back then.
Departure check completed. Bypass pin inserted. Release parking brakes. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
I need to pull this one up.
Well, it's counter rotating tires.
When I first started playing this, I had a heck of a time trying to get the engines to start. I couldn't figure it. It's like they were turning, but they weren't really moving very quickly. Like they were doing that before they did that. Then I realized, oh, I had the fuel off, and I learned quite a bit from this plane. Yeah, just push us right there on the grass. That's cool.
I can't tell you how many times I burned down the PMDG jet stream trying to get it to start.
Set parking brakes.
There were a lot of finicky settings on that when you had the propeller pitch and everything. Is this another case where the default scenery, that's probably where the taxiway is?
Yeah, you know what? I bet it is. I bet that is it. After start checklist, please.
Stand by.
Last aircraft say again.
Everything's on. I can turn this off.
Left is clear. Right is clear.
Need to adjust the sound here. It's a little quiet.
External power APU.
Off.
Are you sure? Main bus tie.
Yes, I turned it off. Off.
Ice protection.
I forgot to do this. Check level 1.
Checked level 1. Rudder travel.
Full travel.
Rudder actuator test.
Complete.
Nose steering.
On.
Auto feather.
Auto feather select.
Engine rating.
89% set checked. %, set checked.
Batteries.
On. Checked.
Flaps.
$15 set indicating.
15 set indicating. Auxiliary standby PTU pumps.
On.
On. Hydraulic pressure quantity.
Checked.
Checked. Hydraulic number 3 and elevator. Checked. Caution warning lights.
Checked.
Flight instruments radios.
Checked.
Checked. Altimeters.
Good question. Ah. 2992 set cross check.
2992. Set and cross-checked. Ice protection test.
Complete.
After start checklist complete.
Sometimes I just make up something just to just to get them to get to the next part. Alright. I'm going to get rid of this because that's in my way. Don't really hear the sound of the engines here. Because it sounds really cool when you run up the engines, but I'm not even hearing the engines. I turned things down so that way we could hear ATC because that's something that I can't turn up. Go to this and go back to sound. Just pull that up there. You can hear the outside sound. A little bit better there. Trying to get all my displays here to say what they're supposed to. It's like all the buttons are like all in different areas and here we go. There, that should do it. Yep. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for this to show up. There, I can start to hear the engines now.
Yeah, there they are.
Although I'm not turning. Try it again. These things are interesting because you have this little, I forgot what the thing is called, but it's what turns the aircraft. There we go, finally.
Oh, the tiller.
Yeah, the tiller, that's it. I had a heck of a time trying to get this thing to work the first time with the tiller. I'm like sitting there using the mouse to move it and everything until I finally was able to find out how to get it hooked up to the controller. And yeah, everything is lined up differently. See the green lights? That's based on, that's from the VOXATC, and it's thinking that's where the taxiway is at. Now, if I had rerun, like the setup utility,
Hello, flight deck.
it would have readjusted
cheers.
everything, but I had forgotten
Captain,
that.
they're secure in the back.
Set 118.9 on COM 1.
Set.
Skyfox 1971, runway 10, line up and wait.
Runway 10, line up and wait, Skyfox 1971. The tiller is hooked up to my aileron control, whereas the rudder is like something separate. It's real confusing on how to get it, but
wind 9013, cleared takeoff from runway 10.
wind, not wind, but wind. Clear takeoff runway 10, Skyfox 1971. Whoa. Before takeoff, checklist to the line. Before takeoff, checklist to the line, please.
Flight attendants, please be seated for departure. FA notification received. Takeoff briefing complete. Cabin PA complete. Condition levers.
They're not max, not yet. Oh, yes, they are.
Check.
Max.
Max. Trims.
3 set.
3 set. Takeoff warning test.
Tested.
Flight controls checked and free. Flight taxi.
Flight.
Are you sure? Radar terrain. Radar on both sides.
Just put it on
Transponder
flight.
TCAS on out. Takeoff checklist completed to the line.
Below the line. Below the line.
Bleeds min on. External lights on. Runway.
Runway 100, heading 100. That was dumb. Runway 10, heading 100. Okay. Runway 10, heading 100. Boy, he's not hearing me at all. Runway 10, heading 100. Okay, we'll just skip that then.
I'm sorry, I ran out of fingers.
The autopilot's a little... This is another thing. This is why this is another reason why this is kind of hard to try to land. You don't really have an autopilot to control the speed. I mean, you kind of do, but it's...
Are you sure?
Jeez. Mute. So, like, you can control... It's like... But you can't control the altitude and the speed at the same time. It's either one or the other. Either you set it for the altitude and you let it go at whatever speed it winds up going, cruising, or you set it to lock into a certain speed, and then it's up to you to adjust the pitch to be able to gain or the power to gain or lose altitude. It's real tricky, but you know, unlike like the jetliners where you can set the altitude and you can set the speed, you can't do both on this, and I think that's a limitation of the Dash from some of the things that I read. All right, so we're going to set this to 6,000 here. It's hard to read, so I'm slowly going backwards. Heading. Heading locked into place. All right, I think we are set to go.
All right.
He's like, 2 hours later,
80 knots.
we're finally taking
Rotate.
off. Come on, up you go.
Acceleration altitude.
Whoa.
Positive rate.
mate. Stupid autopilot. I may just fly this manually for the moment.
Skyfox 1971, contact points Alliance approach 119.4.
Just a minute. The camera, the chase plane camera is kind of messing things also.
Skyfox 1971, did you copy?
Yeah, just a moment.
1,000 to go. Outsell.
There we go.
Are you receiving me?
Are you receiving me?
Skyfox 1971, did you copy?
Okay, here we go. 119.4, Skyfox 1971. Crap. Why are we going down?
Terrain. Caution. Terrain.
Once I get it on here, there. I think I got it. And I have to be very careful with the throttle, because if I bring it down with my controller, it turns off the autopilot. Here it doesn't, but on the controller for some reason it does that. Set 119.40 on COM 1.
Set.
Point Celine's approach, Skyfox 1971 with you at 6,000.
Skyfox 1971, Point Celine's approach, roger. Skyfox 1971, climb and maintain 16,000.
Climb and maintain 16,000, Skyfox 1971.
Skyfox 1971, reduce speed 250.
Oh yeah, I have a speed issue with this thing too. Reduce speed 250, Skyfox 1971. Because again, I can't control the... It's either you control the altitude, you control the speed, or one of the two. So I haven't quite gotten the knack of that yet. But can move this up to... Come on. Change the nav source here. It should be if I click LNav. It took me a bit to figure out how to get the LNav and everything to work on here too. Because there's a switch here, there's a knob for nav source. So you got to change this in order to be able to use your LNav. Okay, looks like we're rolling here. We're flying. Flaps, those up.
What heading are we at?
North. Pretty close, but 350. That's weird. Why are we going that direction? That's not the
That's what I was wondering.
that's not what I have in the although it says okay. This is interesting.
Climb and maintain flight level 180. Proceed direct to Canada on St. Vincent.
Climb and maintain flight level 190. Proceed direct Cownan, St. Vincent, Skyfox 1971.
Skyfox 1971. Contact VRQ Center 123.7.
It's not, I hope it's not, it should have the whole flight plan in there. I put it in there. 123.7, Skyfox 1971.
The ATC told you the right place.
Gotta get a little bit closer here. Yeah, my whole plan is not even in there. I have it in there. There it goes. Now it's saying it, but that was weird. You're like, this is not what I signed up for, not water. I wanted to see islands. I'm glad you said something, because I'm like, I thought we were following the plan. Apparently we weren't, but I do have it in there, so I don't know what happened there. It must have, for some reason, it must have been selected on the final destination instead of...
I've seen pictures and this wasn't it.
That looks like the island. That's the one we took off from.
Yeah, there they are.
Alright, we're supposed to go to 16. Oh no, we are going to 16. Yeah, I have it set there. And this is really tricky. I've got to, like when landing, I've got to have this up to keep an eye on the speed to make sure I don't stall and crash, but yet not have too much speed to where I can't land with it. It's pretty tricky. But despite that, it's a great, it's a great plane to fly. It's a challenge. And there is something about a prop plane that just makes it, I don't know, more relaxing or something. Alright, what do we not need here?
1,000 to go. Outsell.
Turn that off. He didn't turn on our exterior lights? My goodness. Horrible co-pilot.
What is it they say every now and again? Oh, how did I miss that?
That's what I pay you for, Mr. Co-pilot. I pay you to check that stuff. Set 123.7 on COM 1.
Set.
If this was VATSIM, we'd be in a complete mess right now. Piarco Center, Skyfox 1971 with you, leaving 16,000, climbing flight level 190.
Skyfox 1971, Piarco Center.
I should have asked before you took off. Does changing the time or weather now that you're up, would that break things? Not the weather, but the time.
No, it won't break anything. The current time is 3:33. I know it's not exactly accurate as to what we're flying right now.
Oh no, it'd be dark right now. That should be nice. By the time you get up toward landing, there'll be some nice evening colors coming on.
Besides, if it gets darker, you're not going to see the islands. You might see the lights on the islands.
Oh man, it's just another thing that 2020 is going to be so amazing with.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
That entire range out to 600 kilometers or whatever they claim the draw distance is, all lit up at night.
Let's see here. Okay, I've got it set for the NDB. First floor is 108.4. Oh, it's already on there. Look at that. It's on number 2. Oops, wrong one. I do not know how to turn off the Morse code sound either. It's supposed to be like one of these little switches here, but they all look like they're off. So it's like, like on another aircraft, you could turn that thing on or off to know that you're tuned into something, but I have not been able to find it on this aircraft. I'm assuming it's here somewhere, but it looks like it's turned off.
Yeah, I can't see one that even looks like it.
There's a speaker one. What does this do? Nothing. Okay.
There's a little ID button above the tuning knob on there. I don't know if that's it.
That could be it. That's what it usually... I can't remember what all my controls were. Apparently that's not it. That's not it either. There it is. Ah! No. That turned it on for that. It turns off in a brief moment, but that's a good question. No, I'm not hearing anything at the moment.
The only one that isn't down or off is on the right-hand side under serve on the top right corner.
Top right corner.
One of those little knobs.
Oh, these little knobs here?
The right.
Oh, I see it.
All the way on the right.
I see it. This one here. Oh, maybe that was it. Maybe it was... It's coming from that co-pilot. The co-pilot causing trouble.
Well, whether that was it or not, it shut up.
Yes, it did. That's good. It could have been a combination of that ID thing too. Maybe just the fact that I clicked it. Maybe I've noticed that on one of the planes that I've got, and I think it might have been X-plane, I don't remember, but it's like the moment that it locks into a VOR, it gives that signal, but then it stops after that. And I'm wondering if it's kind of similar here. You just hit the ID, you hit the ID button, and it acknowledges, yeah, okay, I got it, or something. This is very pretty, actually.
Yeah, that is St. Vincent coming up.
Got some
Grenada.
I got something going on over here. My anti-skid. Don't know why those are on. Just when you thought it was safe to go back to the radio. Alright, here's DME1, DME2. You can't see it, my head's covering it. So there's DMA1, DMA2. I need to change DMA2. We'll test it. I'll click that ID button, see what happens. Skyfox 1971, request flight level 220.
Skyfox 1971, climb and maintain flight level 220.
I love my ATC program, but man, I can't get those voices any louder than that. So I have to like turn the sound of everything else down. It's crazy. Climb and maintain flight level 220, Skyfox 1971.
What did they want you at? 18?
What was that?
What elevation?
Elevation, flight level 220. Or 22,000.
Altitude.
It's funny, I've been doing a lot of, when I was doing a lot of flying on VATSIM, I was doing it over in Europe and stuff, so I was getting used to saying flight level, flight level, flight level. And then when I did start doing some VATSIM in the States, I said flight level. It's like, no, we don't say flight level here. I'm like, okay.
Well, and sometimes the Russian dial can be interesting because they do a lot of it in meters rather than feet.
Oh, I know, the meters.
Too, I think.
The meters throw me off. I have to have like a little converter off to the side. When they say, yeah, fly at 1,363 meters. I'm like, oh crap, now I gotta go over here and type in meters to feet to try to figure out what I need to go on. And then it really throws me off when they start giving you feet and everything, and then as you get closer to approaching, they give you meters. But I adjust, I adapt. Going a little slow. Well, as soon as we level off, it should speed up. Let's see here. This gives approximate times. That had me a little concerned. Okay, I think that's our current time. 1948. Yeah. So we should be getting at BNE at 1952. So it looks like we have about maybe an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes, just based on what I'm seeing here. This is supposed to be our STT, I think, is St. Thomas. So that's supposed to be our estimated time of arrival is 21:29.
St. Lucia coming up. Big enough to have 2 international airports. There's a couple of really tall peaks over on the southwest that it does actually have in there. You can kind of see them. The Pitons.
Clicking that I think that ID thing is, well, maybe. The last time I clicked it, it stopped making sounds. This has got to mean something. These little rectangle things here off to the side. It almost seems like that's like a volume control or something, but I'm not sure. Well, then again, it may not turn off. Uh-oh. Don't tell me we're going to have nothing but clouds on the way there.
I haven't heard of any hurricanes or tropical storms over there. That's kind of thick, though.
Yeah, it is.
Weather radar on this thing?
There is. Get to it here. Okay. I'll use the co-pilot here. This is the weather thing here. I'm trying to get it to show though. Oops, I'm messing with that. I'm not messing with... Okay. No, that's not the right thing to put on there. Electrical systems. Wait a minute, here it is. Ah, there we go.
Well, it doesn't look too scary coming up.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's any storms, just clouds. Oh, well, now. Now it's clear.
Oh, nice. You just had to turn on the windshield wipers.
That must be it. It was just fogging up is all it was. Okay, so we're at 228. I'm going to push that throttle up a little bit higher. I think I can keep the levers here, though. This seems to work well, like when it comes to fuel economy. Like you want to keep it somewhere like here or here. But I kind of play around with the two just to get a good speed too. Bring it down just a tad then. Oh. It goes down in notches. You can't really like go in between. This is one of those things where it would be nice if I could say, yeah, hold this altitude and hold a speed of 250 knots, but you can't do both. Plan-wise, though, that's where we are so far. So looks like we're about halfway through. We're getting close to it.
Dominica next. Somewhere down there.
If we have to fly at a lower altitude, then we'll do that. I was going to try to do another stream earlier today, but I didn't want to push myself too hard because this here was the priority, so I didn't want to try to squeeze something else in there that may take a little bit too long. But I got this here for Flight Simulator 95 and 98. And I was going to be running some tests on it with Flight Simulator 95, 98. So I have a flight worked up that would go from, is it Dusseldorf? I think Dusseldorf to France, testing out the 747.
Oh, that'd be cool. That's not too long a jump either, because Dusseldorf, I think, is in the northwest part.
And getting it set up on the classic simulators is not so hard. It's with P3D and with all the add-ons and stuff, because it takes a bit for it to load up in P3D, and then if you alter the scenery, then it's got to do its thing there. And then sometimes it crashes and you have to restart and you have to load it up all over again, which is what actually did happen with this. I had started P3D, and before it went to the main menu, it shut off and I had to restart it again. Oh. Figures. I was looking at this before, but now it's on sale. I was going to get this. I was going to get this for the actual flight. And it wasn't on sale, and now it just happens to be on sale.
Good. I'm glad you didn't get it, because I would have been really annoyed if you're spending money on it.
Hey, Shadow. Good to see ya. Is this P3D default, or is there add-ons? Orbix. I have the Orbix Global. Land class, I don't know if the land class covers this Caribbean area. But I also have the FTX Vector on as well. And J Mike is here with us. This is actually a flight that he redeemed with his KILR points. So,
good evening, Shadow.
yeah, it does actually look pretty nice. We had a few kinks that we had to work out. Like I had the flight plan into the computer, but for some reason it was pointing us to the last waypoint instead of the first waypoint. But we didn't get too far off track. And so that way you can see the flight here. Here it is. So we're coming across the islands just like this. Just vor to vor. Just some island hopping.
Yep, we just left Dominica and Guadeloupe is up next.
Oh darn. That doesn't seem to be working. I was going to order us some lunch. Apparently that they don't want to do that.
You stashed a little rum in the back, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what I was going to have them bring up.
Do you usually fly P3D or X-Plane, Shadow? So far, Explain 11 was not crashed on me, but I have very few add-ons running right
now. Shadow, do you what do you have as far as add-ons? Is there maybe a conflict or something that's causing the blue screen? Like maybe get rid of some plugins? And I hear you on that. Out of the box, X-Plane 11 really looks good. Once you get the graphics settings set correctly. The first time that I played X-Plane 11, I was playing the demo, and I didn't have like the auto-gen up high, so I saw like the roads, the vector roads. There was hardly any buildings, and they were all over the place, and I was like, what is this garbage? And then when I started fooling around with the auto-gen and the graphic settings, it looked a lot better, and I'm like, okay, this is the X-Plane that I've been seeing everyone else play. I was like wondering, what was I doing wrong?